There is this nationwide swatting pattern targeting political figures, and Marjorie Greene, a member of Congress, of course, happens to be one of the latest victims of this. In fact, she alleges that she has been swatted several times. So her home in Georgia was swatted on Christmas morning, and she posted about it on social media saying, "I was just swatted. This is like the 8th time on Christmas with my family here. My local police are the greatest and shouldn't have to deal with this. I appreciate them so much, and my family and I are in joyous spirits celebrating the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ." Now, here's what allegedly happened. Mayor Rodney Bailey of the, Major Rodney Bailey of the police department in Rome, Georgia, said that a person based in Rome, New York, made a call to the suicide hotline claiming that he got shot, that he had shot his girlfriend at Greene's address in Georgia and threatened to kill himself next. I just gotta pause for a second. If the authorities have been called to this specific address like 8 times, as Marjorie Greene says, shouldn't they know that this is a target of fake allegations?
I think they might well already know that, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, look, this is awful. I don't like Marjorie Greene as a person or as a politician, but her family doesn't deserve this, and this could, luckily it hasn't, but this could end up in a disastrous situation, okay? So I wanna just be very clear that I'm against this. Police then contacted Greene's local security liaison to inform the Congresswoman's team about the call. Her security team decided officers didn't need to respond to her home, according to Bailey, and a police response was canceled. So luckily it ended in this way, but I also wanna just note that various media personalities have also been targeted with these swatting techniques. Tim Pool, another individual that I disagree with vehemently, politically speaking, has been swatted several times. He doesn't have a security liaison that's in contact with the local authorities, right? So that could have ended terribly for him and his staff. Guys, this is not the right way to handle the situation. I get it, like people are feeling powerless. They feel like they don't have the ability to hold politicians and various people in society accountable for their actions. So they resort to these kinds of tactics. But this isn't persuading anyone to do anything for you, you know?
Yeah, it's terrible. So it's objectively reprehensible, don't do it. First of all, if you think it's gonna accomplish your goals, they're not. The police aren't gonna bust down her door. It's also terrible, both to her and her family, if someone were to be hurt or whatever. Also, it provides them with the sham cover to both sides' political violence. She will take this and she will hold this up as an equivalent to January 6th.
It makes her a victim too, right?
Yeah, well, it legitimately makes her a victim.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that she needs it. She would pitch herself to be as a victim anyway, but this is actually making a victim out of her. So don't do it. It's terrible on every level.
So the authorities were able to find the suspect. Local police were reportedly called by the suspect, who took responsibility for the incident and said that they were just upset about Ms. Greene's stance on transgender youth's rights. But what you did is not persuading her to change her mind on it. It's not gonna change the situation in a way that's favorable to the individual who engaged in the swatting tactic. It's just not smart. And in another post by Marjorie Greene, she says, "I've been swatted 8 times, but the FBI can't seem to figure out who is responsible for the swatting and says the law doesn't allow them to track them down." I mean, they did track them down. So that's kind of a lie. The FBI can do so many things, has even abused FISA to spy on hundreds of thousands of Americans, but cannot figure out who wants me killed by a hail of bullets fired by a SWAT team responding to murder-suicide calls supposedly coming from me. And by the way, I want to be clear, there are other politicians, Democrats, who have been swatted as well. First, let's go to GOP Congressman Brandon Williams. He's from New York, the 22nd district there. He was swatted on Christmas Day. Our home was swatted this afternoon thanks to the deputies and troopers who contacted me before arriving. They left with homemade cookies and spiced nuts. Merry Christmas, everyone. Spiced nuts sound fun. I like spicy nuts.
That did not take long.
But finally, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, who is a Democrat, she was also swatted on Christmas. Some people not feeling the holiday cheer. This was days after she sparked right-wing outrage for hosting an event for local elected officials of color and excluded white politicians from the area. The fake emergency call came into the city's 311 system around 5:30 p.m. Monday evening. It was ultimately routed to 911 dispatchers. A man told officials that he shot his wife at an address in Roslindale and that she was tied up along with a man in the house. She had allegedly been the victim of a handful of swatting calls since she was elected mayor of Boston in 2021. Look, I don't agree with what she did either. I think that it's divisive to do what she did. She doesn't deserve to be swatted. No one does. It is a misuse of our resources. It's incredibly cruel. It can be incredibly dangerous. Don't be stupid. If you want to hold politicians accountable, you got to strategize and find methods that will actually yield the results that you want, rather than doing things that could harm someone, could actually hurt someone. That's not the right way to go about it.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.